High Mountain Hunting Supply presents the Northwest Outdoorsmen.
Almost had a pretty good chance there.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Thank you.
Holy smokes, that fish is big.
What do you think?
Good.
Yeah, beautiful bull.
Nice fish.
That's a nice coping.
It's cool.
I know it's not a small one, let's put it that way.
He's a good one.
Boy, he has good lines, that dog.
Man, that's a nice bull. Nice one. That was an awesome bite.
This could be the one.
It's pretty good.
Well, let's just get in that little draw right there, this first one, and go down, see what we see there.
This week on the Northwest Outdoorsmen,
yeah, well, he wasn't like fighting or anything.
Tyler Harrod experiences a fishing trip in Alaska, the high school graduation trip to remember forever. High Mountain Hunting Supply presents the Northwest Outdoorsmen, brought to you by Hunt the Sun Safaris, Oregon Cattlemen's Association, Pacific Calls, The Hunting Couple, Max Lure. For most outdoorsmen, fishing or hunting in Alaska represents the ultimate in adventure. But most never get to experience all the 49th state has to offer. An Alaska adventure is very much affordable for the average sportsman and especially for those of us in the Northwest. It takes some planning, and having a local contact makes plans even easier. Scott Shumway and Richy Harrod became friends during college, and the two have stayed connected in the many years since then. It was this friendship that brought Tyler Harrod to Alaska for the fishing trip of a lifetime.
About 2 years ago, I told my dad I wanted to shoot a caribou, and he's like, oh, I got this friend in Alaska. And I was just like, all right, let's call him up. And 2 years later, we show up here about 2 days ago. We're out fishing. Yeah, I graduated June 9th, and this was my senior trip with me and my dad. What? In the state of Alaska, they closed the salmon fishing down. So instead of salmon fishing, Scott had a great idea taking us up to his cabin, up the Talkeetna River, and we tried a little bit of fishing up there.
We find out that the state biologist had shut down the Chinook fishery because of such low returns. So I thought, well, yeah, the weather forecast looks grim. No fish. Let's go to plan B. So I thought, well, at least we'll go to the cabin, give you another Alaskan experience.
So we took his jet boat all the way up there. We had to make a couple trips because of all the people and the gear. But then after we got everything up there, we jet boated up this little side stream. So we parked the jet boat on the side and we tried some casting, and Brian did his fly fishing. Uh-oh. And the water was crystal clear. You could see the bottom if it was like 10, 12 feet. And it was just great being out there.
I saw this dolly laying right off the corner. I'm like, hey, there's one right here.
The fishing was very poor. Brian caught one fly fishing, and it was a decent size, but that was the only one that we caught out of the group of us. Hiking up to a cabin was beautiful, even though it was kind of rainy. But there was a ton of mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes are everywhere.
I hike up here real quick, get the prowler and fire it up and drive down, and we call come up.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
So being up in Scott's cabin was beautiful. It was perched on this little knob, and you can see out for miles and miles.
One of those weekends we were up on this trail and we were trying to get up to the Larson Lake because I'd heard there was really good lake trout and burbot fishing up there. Well, we come along here and we saw this cabin was for sale. And we're like, wow, that's a really cool cabin, you know. The gentleman who owned it was here and he's like, come on in. And kind of gave us coffee and we just BS'd with him all for like an hour. He was telling us his whole life story out here and he had lived here for 30 years. But he had walked everything in here. For about 25 of those 30 years, he had no motorized vehicles. And people in Talkeetna, everybody around this region knew him as Walking Bob. So he walked all this stuff in. I mean, the stuff that's in there, the stove, the tools, everything, chainsaws, everything he did to build this.
This doesn't get better than this, man.
But we love coming up in July, especially when the red salmon are running. There's a really good run in this creek right down here. Especially late fall, the Talkeetna River will go clear. All that mud goes away, and then the rainbow fishing and the dolly fishing picks up significantly. I guess we just picked up the one trout, but they're up farther or down, and have gone down or wherever. But anyway, they weren't there.
So Scott took us to the Kenai River. The water there was absolutely beautiful. It's nothing that I've ever seen before. So it was sunny, it was gorgeous. So when we went up there, we stayed and launched our boat at Skilak Lake.
Got me. Yep. He's got a fish.
Coming up after the break,
Yeah, well, he wasn't like fighting or anything. A fish.
Look at that. World's smallest rainbow.
Oregon cattlemen have a heritage rich with ambition, and they care deeply about the sustainability of the state's natural resources. Producers big and small are represented by the Oregon Cattlemen's Association, formed in 1913. Today, the association works to promote environmentally and socially sound industry practices and provide hunter access.
The things that we do for our business, open space, crop, even irrigated agriculture, benefits wildlife hugely.
The Oregon Cattlemen's Association. Cattlemen care.
The Northwest Outdoorsmen features Northwest residents hunting, fishing, and enjoying the Pacific Northwest. Just average sportsmen doing what the majority of sportsmen do, and that's doing it on their own. Visit the Harrod Outdoors website for information about upcoming episodes, recipes from the Harrod's Cookhouse, Season 1 DVDs, knife sharpeners, and Harrod outdoor gifts, including fishing lure earrings for outdoor women. Outfit yourself or buy them for gifts at harrodoutdoors.com.
High Mountain Hunting Supply presents the Northwest Outdoorsmen, brought to you by Hunt the Sun Safaris, Oregon Cattlemen's Association, Pacific Calls, The Hunting Couple, Max Lure. Welcome back to South Central Alaska and the blue waters of the Kenai.
So Scott took us to the Kenai River. The water there was absolutely beautiful. It's nothing that I've ever seen before. So it was sunny, it was gorgeous. So when we went up there, we stayed and launched our boat at Skilak Lake, which was pretty fun. Yeah, it was a huge lake. It was same color blue as the river. It was gorgeous. It's really blue. The lake is really blue.
This last winter was, I think, it was a record statehood, so since 1959, maybe even farther back than that, for snowfall here in South Central Alaska. It's so hot, it probably hit 80 today, and it's been hot. This water's really, really high.
The ripples right there, that's real shallow water.
And then Malta, that's not a fish.
We fished different ways. We were trolling against the current and having our lures behind us.
Below that marker is for fly fishing only right now. So, you know, there's different ways, but we're gonna pull little plugs right now, single hook plugs.
What am I gonna use?
There's both rainbows and dollies in here right now that are actively feeding. It's been a long winter. We can pull upstream, which is what I'm gonna do initially here for a while. I tend to prefer that method myself. You ready?
Let's fish.
Okay. You'll probably catch fish between 2 to 5 pounds on average in here, but at any time, any moment, I mean, a 10 or even a 15-pound rainbow could take that thing. Well, here, let's put a different one on. Mag the bottom. Be highly unlikely. Go ahead and reel in, sweetheart. He's got a fish. Oh, there you go. Dolly Varden. Huh? Well, take it off. Take it off. He's got a dolly there. Dude, you stay. Stay, birdie. Well, Anna knows. Anna knows. All right, want to bring her in here and I'll release that fish. This is a catch and release fishery for this time of year. So we're going to let this fish go. This river has such a high user rate, and it's such a spectacular resource that almost everybody releases fish here. Sometimes you can keep one a day under, I think it's 16 maybe. I'm going to get your lens wet, buddy. Dollies are famous for that.
I've run this a lot, so I know where all the bars are and all the little spots are. Generally, I don't hit too much anymore these days, but
said he wanted it close.
The water's really high, so the fishing wasn't very good.
where we are right now a week ago wasn't water. This was dry ground right here.
See that?
I got the world's smallest rainbow. There he is, a trophy Kenai rainbow. Look at that. Now that ain't a beauty, I don't know what is, huh? When I was a boy, we rarely fished for trout. Everybody came down in here, they were all fishing for salmon. Kings this time of year, and then the sockeye runs really come in here thick in July. And then in August, it's a coho fishery. But these days, many people come here just to fish these rainbows.
Slow. Very slow. But I still caught 2 fish. One was kind of tiny, and the other one was a decent size.
Oh, you got it. He's right there. You got it. You got it. That's a rainbow.
Yeah, well, he wasn't like fighting or anything. Scott tried anything he could just to try to get us some more fishing. Water was too high, it was late in the season, so the fishing wasn't very good, but we still had a great time, and he did a great job being our guide. The sunset was great. It was just a nice time to be out there.
Next on the Northwest Outdoorsmen.
The boat hook is so weird, 200 meters down there. Oh, yeah. Arm's tired.
Ultimate archery experience. Once in a lifetime. Life-changing. Unforgettable African adventure. Archery hunting like this can only be experienced in South Africa. Book your hunt today at highmountainhuntingsupply.com. Oregon cattlemen have a heritage rich with ambition, and they care deeply about the sustainability of the state's natural resources. Producers big and small are represented by the Oregon Cattlemen's Association, formed in 1913. Today, the association works to promote environmentally and socially sound industry practices and provide hunter access.
The things that we do for our business, open space, crop, even irrigated agriculture, benefits wildlife hugely.
The Oregon Cattlemen's Association. Cattlemen care. High Mountain Hunting Supply presents the Northwest Outdoorsmen. Brought to you by Hunt the Sun Safaris, Oregon Cattlemen's Association, Pacific Calls, The Hunting Couple, Max Lure. Welcome back to Kachemak Bay in south central Alaska.
We still didn't get to Anchorage. Scott takes us out to his house, load up his stuff, get his boat, and we're off. Within 2 hours maybe, it didn't take us that long.
Bird Creek.
And it takes a 5-hour trip to get here.
That Homer?
That's Homer spit.
Here's Homer.
For the halibut fishing, we launched in Homer, Alaska. It was an hour out to our fishing spot and then another like 30 minutes to our campground. So when we got up there, the scenery was outstanding. The snow was still on the mountains. Everything was just gorgeous. It was sunny, blue skies. You can see everything for miles. No, it definitely wasn't flat like any lake.
The south side of Ketchimack Bay has been developed for a long time, but there's a lot of wilderness here. We're staying in a yurt. There are some different yurts in different bays a person can rent. And they're pretty nice because you can have a wood stove in there, and you know, it's rustic, but it's comfortable.
The yurts were really different. I've never seen those before. They were really fun staying in them.
Pretty neat, huh? Yeah.
Hey, buddy, how you like Alaska?
Love it.
Pretty sweet restaurant we got going here.
Yeah. That first evening, we ate moose burgers that Scott made for us. They were delicious, and they had the scenery to go with it, and the water. It was amazing. Every morning we'd take our stuff down to the bank where Scott would take his little dinghy, go to the boat, pull the boat in, put the gear in the boat, and then we would take off.
Morning, outlaw. Bald eagle sitting up there.
I grew up on the east end of Long Island. I grew up fishing. I grew up 5-minute walk from Long Island town. I'd go down by myself in the evening and go blue fishing from the shore or flounder fishing. But for the most part, yeah, people don't do this where I'm from. Yeah. Most people back home don't truly understand why I'm in Alaska. And I've been here 13 years and I'll never go back.
So I'll bait it for you one time. This is a circle hook. When these fish hit, you don't jerk on it and set the hook like you do a J-hook, typical. Now, and your instinct will be, you'll feel it and you're gonna wanna set it, right? You just let the fish set the hook. And the little ones, you'll get lots of little nibble, 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 nibble. But when it gets a hit, it'll go, you know, and then just kind of lift up on your rod. There you got it? Yeah.
The way halibut fishing has worked well for me is to find places in the 200-foot range and find some structure to fish on. But there are regions out as you move on out into Cook Inlet and you go on around beyond Soldovia, over beyond English Bay, where you have these nice pieces of structure that are in that 200-foot range.
There, you're getting bumped there.
Oh yeah. This is my second halibut trip in 13 years. This is it for me. Love fishing. This is where I get my happiness. This is everything.
Little guy. No, he's not. That's a nice fish. Now you got to decide. I mean, that's the size as your other one.
Just because.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brian was the first one to catch the fish. I was getting quite jealous at first because I was sitting over here. I'm like, keep losing them, or I'm not getting any bites, or something was going on. Yep.
Okay, reel down, reel down, reel down.
Oh, I think it came off.
So I got a little nibble there. He needs to get bigger.
Halibut fishing is definitely different. Scott told me I couldn't jerk. It's kind of hard not to.
Next on the Northwest Outdoorsmen.
When I'm reeling, sometimes I drag one. Nope.
There's fish. Oh,
ooh,
dude.
Good. Whoa. Look at that.
Hey everybody, it's Kelsey with High Mountain, and I'm excited to announce that we have become the Northwest representative for Hunt the Sun Safaris. If you're looking for an opportunity of a lifetime to go hunt one of the most incredible places along the legendary Serengeti, where Elmer Keith wrote some of his best works, this is your opportunity. Check out our website at highmountainhuntingsupply.com. That's highmountainhuntingsupply.com. Click on the safari link and check us out for the hunt of a lifetime.
Ultimate archery experience. Once in a lifetime. Life-changing. Unforgettable African adventure. Archery hunting like this can only be experienced in South Africa. Book your hunt today at highmountainhuntingsupply.com. High Mountain Hunting Supply presents the Northwest Outdoorsmen, brought to you by Hunt the Sun Safaris, Oregon Cattlemen's Association, Pacific Calls, The Hunting Couple, Max Lure. Welcome back to halibut fishing in south central Alaska.
Brian was the first one to catch the fish. I was getting quite jealous at first because I was sitting over here, I'm like, keep losing them, or I'm not getting any bites, or something was going on.
He needs to get bigger.
Halibut fishing is definitely different. Scott told me I couldn't jerk. It's kind of hard not to. It takes a little bit of adjustment.
Man, I think you got a pretty good one there. Don't get one. That might have a nice fish. Yeah.
See him yet?
Nope. I don't see him. That's my float. There's a fish. Oh,
ooh,
dude, he's a beauty.
Yeah. Nice fish.
Now don't get, no.
Right
Keep him
there,
under the
just
water.
like that.
Don't let him get out of the water. Go.
I'm tired.
That's the best fish so far. That's a nice fish, bud. He's 30 pounds or so.
I got some purple on my stomach. Jamming that rod in there. Dead weight, whacking his head back and forth. You're just like, it was fun, really wore me out. I'm pretty sure I got a couple bruises from jamming the rod in my side. Yeah.
He sounds excited.
I'm sorry.
You know, I caught my 2 halibut and said, well, let me try fishing and see what else is out here and get a hit and pull up this monster. What was it, like 22-pound cod, Pacific cod? That was pretty killer.
Wow. Whoa.
So how do I get this in the boat?
Woo! That's a good cod.
All right, let's keep it then.
Where are we, Scott?
Well, this is Seldovia, Alaska. It's a coastal community that's been around a long time, primarily commercial fishing, crabbing, salmon, halibut. The facilities available to the fishermen are great.
Seldovia is a cool little town. Seeing this ocean side, cleaner fish there, seeing all the art there. We walked around through the streets up there, just looking around. It was cool just to be out there with a sunny day and everything after a long day of fishing. It was cool to see something new. I've never seen that before, and I wish we could have kept it or had like taken some better pictures or something.
We'll take that.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh, you got a giant skate, Tyler.
Yeah, we caught that huge skate that we thought was a monster halibut because it took me like 45 minutes to reel it up or something.
All that drag in the water. Woohoo! There we go. There he is. Yep, he's a keeper. That's a good eating fish there.
Up the bay, here at the very end of the bay, big waterfall. About middle of the waterfall, hits this rock and just shoots the water right out and keeps going down. taking it all in. So that's why I'm like big grin ear to ear the whole time.
Being up there with Scott and Bryant, halibut fishing was a blast. I really want to do it again. I would definitely not turn down an opportunity to go up there and fish with them again.
Now it's time for another Harrod's Cookhouse recipe brought to you by Micklich's, Spokane's spice and gluten-free bakery since 1948. Today we're making Harrod's halibut tempura. Start by cutting your halibut into 1 to 2 inch bite-sized pieces and sprinkle with Micklich's lemoniest seasoning and lightly coat them with all-purpose flour. Make your tempura batter by mixing dry ingredients: half a cup of cornstarch, half a cup of flour, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then add 1 slightly beaten egg. Add 2/3 of a cup of ice water. You want the ice cubes to float in the batter. Heat the vegetable oil in your fryer to 355 degrees. Put 2 to 3 on a skewer and drop them in the fryer. Fry until they're golden brown, usually about 3 to 4 minutes. Enjoy them with your favorite tartar sauce and French fries. Oh, that's good. For this and other great recipes, visit the Harrod Outdoors website. Tune in next week for another great wild game recipe.
My parents tell a story of when I was, I think, 3 on the lake, and we were down here fishing and we got blown off the lake, and my dad set up a camp. He had a tent, some stuff with him, and we set up a camp on the lake, and the tent got blown down. And I vaguely remember them wrapping me up in a sleeping bag, putting me under a log while they got the tent set back up and put back together again in this windstorm. So